The blackness of space was endless and cold. Stars looked like frozen sparks trapped in the dark. The small human ship Aurora drifted slowly through the void, its silver hull shining weakly against the darkness. Inside, Captain Rian Hale sat in silence watching the radar. It had been weeks since the last human signal. Most colonies were quiet now. Too quiet. Suddenly the radio came alive. A broken signal cut through the static, a sound of human voices crying, then laughter, deep and harsh, not human at all. The crew froze. The message repeated again and again. They are laughing. They are laughing? Rian stood up. Trace it, he ordered. His voice was calm, but his hands were shaking slightly. The crew worked fast, typing commands, scanning deep into the stars. The source came from Sector 9, a place where one of Earth's fleets had disappeared months ago. No one spoke for a long moment. Only the quiet hum of the ship filled the air. Lieutenant Mara Chen turned in her chair. Captain, that fleet was the Atlas Command. 4,000 lives lost. They never came back. Ryan's eyes stayed on the screen. Then let's bring them home, he said, his voice low. The Aurora changed course and jumped towards Sector 9. Hours passed in heavy silence. As they approached the coordinates, the radar began to show metal fragments floating in the dark. The wreckage of human ships surrounded them like a graveyard. Some hulls were torn open, others melted into strange shapes, Mara whispered. What kind of weapon could do this? Before anyone could answer, a transmission signal appeared again. The same broken voice, only now louder and clearer. The sound of laughter echoed inside the bridge, deep and cruel. Then a voice followed. Your kind fought bravely. And died quickly. The crew froze. It was not a human voice. It sounded like metal and fire mixed together. Ryan clenched his fists. Who are you? He shouted into the mic. The alien voice laughed again. We are the Voraken. You are dust under our feet. Your colonies burn, your fleets cry, and we laugh. The screen flashed. A symbol appeared, glowing red. It looked like a circle of teeth around a single eye. Then the signal cut off. Rian's face hardened. Mara, record everything. Send it to Earth Command, Priority 1. Before she could respond, the radar alarm screamed. Dozens of signals appeared. Ships decloaking all around them. Black and silver alien vessels, their shapes sharp like blades. They moved fast, surrounding the Aurora from every side. Shields up, Ryan shouted. Evasive pattern Delta. The Aurora spun through the wreckage, trying to escape, but energy blasts ripped through the dark. One beam grazed their hull, shaking the ship violently. Sparks flew across the control room. Mara yelled, Their firepower is beyond ours. Keep moving, Ryan shouted, gripping the console. We're not dying here. The alien ships sent another transmission, the same laughter echoing across every channel. Run, little humans. Run before your sun turns cold. The crew fought to keep the ship alive. The engine roared, but the power was fading. Ryan's eyes darted to the damage report. 3 decks were gone, life support failing. He took a deep breath. If they want to laugh, let them laugh. We'll make sure someone hears them. He turned to Mara. Send the message. Everything we saw, everything we heard. Make sure it reaches Earth. Mara's hands trembled as she pressed the transmission key. Message sent, Captain. Outside, the alien ships formed a circle, their weapons charging. Ryan watched the glowing lights around them. It was like being inside the eye of a storm. Any escape route? He asked. None, Mara said softly. Ryan looked around at his crew, tired, scared, but still ready to fight. Then we make it count, he said. For the Atlas, for Earth. He opened the external speakers. This is Captain Rian Hale of the human ship Aurora. We may fall today, but our message will reach home. And when it does, humanity will rise. Remember that when you laugh. The alien ships fired all at once. The Aurora shook violently as explosions tore through the hull. The control room filled with smoke and flashing lights. Mara shouted, Captain, E-engine breach! Rian grabbed her arm. Get to the pods! She shook her head. You won't make it either, the captain smiled sadly. That's not the point. He turned back to the console, locking the final message for transmission. A red light blinked. Message sent. Earth Command, Priority 1. Outside, the alien fleet continued firing. The Aurora's metal skin peeled apart. One last explosion consumed the ship, and everything went silent. Far across the void, on a small receiver station orbiting Earth, a broken signal arrived hours later. Static filled the speakers. Then a human voice, Ryan Hales, whispered through the noise. "They are laughing. Tell them to prepare." The transmission ended. Inside Earth Command, alarms began to ring. Officers rushed to trace the signal. A general turned to the others, his face pale. "Who's laughing?" he asked quietly. No one answered. Only the sound of the recording played again, that deep alien laughter, echoing through every speaker. And in that moment, humanity realized it was no longer alone in the dark. The message from the lost ship Aurora spread across every human network in hours. News channels stopped all programs. People gathered in silence, watching the broken video feed again and again. The sound of alien laughter played like thunder in every home, every base, every colony, on Earth deep beneath the surface. The United Human Command Council met inside the steel fortress known as Fort Titan. The air was heavy. Around a long glass table sat generals, scientists, and leaders from every nation. At the end of the table stood Commander Isha, Korr, her eyes hard and cold. She had fought in 10 wars before, but nothing felt like this. The screen behind her replayed the Aurora's final moments. Smoke, screams, then silence. Commander Isha turned to the group. "You all heard them. The aliens call themselves the Voraken. They destroyed Atlas Fleet and now the Aurora. 2 of our strongest fleets gone. They are mocking us." General Rydar slammed his fist on the table. "Mocking us? They are erasing us. If we do nothing, Earth will be next." A young scientist spoke softly. "Their technology is far beyond ours. We've never seen energy readings like that before. Their weapons bend light itself." Another general leaned forward. "So we bend it back. We must strike first." But Isha shook her head. "Strike with what? Our defense grids can't hold against that kind of power. We attack now, we die faster." Silence filled the room again. Every face was tense. Then the doors opened, and an old man entered slowly, holding a tablet. His name was Dr. Elias Noor, one of the most brilliant scientists Earth ever produced. He had disappeared from public view years ago, working on something secret under the Arctic base. Isha stood. "Dr. Noor, you said you had something urgent." Elias looked around at the council. His voice was calm, but his eyes were tired. "You speak of war," he said. "But war is already lost. The Voraken's technology is thousands of years ahead. The only way to survive is to change the rules of the game." He placed the tablet on the table. A hologram appeared, a rotating sphere of light surrounded by layers of code and energy rings. "This," Elias said, "is Project ECLIPSE." Everyone leaned closer. He continued, "A hidden defense system built under Earth's core, powered by dark energy. It can control time and space for a few seconds, long enough to freeze enemy fleets or erase their energy signatures. It was meant as our final defense if the worst ever came." General Rydar frowned. "You mean a weapon that can stop time? That's impossible." Elias smiled faintly. "Everything is impossible until humanity makes it real." The room buzzed with whispers. Commander Isha crossed her arms. "If it's real, why haven't we used it?" Elias hesitated. "Because it is unstable. It draws energy from the planet itself. A full activation could destroy Earth if not controlled perfectly." The room went silent again. "So you're saying," Isha said slowly, "we can either die by their hands or die by our own weapon." Elias nodded. "Unless we find a way to balance it. I need time, and I need a defense fleet to keep the Voraken away from Earth while I finish calibration." The council began to argue, voices rising, fists slamming on the table. Some shouted for war, others for retreat. Finally, Isha raised her voice above them all. "Enough!" Everyone fell silent. Her voice was steady and sharp. "We have no choice. If we run, they will find us. If we hide, they will hunt us. Humanity has always survived by standing together. We will fight, but this time, with everything we have." She looked at Elias. "You'll have your time. We will protect your project." Rydar nodded slowly. "Then it's decided. Earth Command will unite all fleets under one banner. We call it The Human Resistance Command. Every leader in the room placed their hand over the table sensor, confirming the new alliance. Lights around the room turned red. War protocol began. Within hours, every human colony received the order. Massive hangars opened, releasing old ships, hidden weapons, and new prototypes. Moon bases armed up. Orbit stations began charging their defense cannons. Oceans on Earth boiled as underwater docks released huge war carriers into the sky. People on the streets looked up as the clouds broke open with the sound of engines. Every nation was finally united. Commander Isha stood on the balcony of Fort Titan, watching the First Fleet rise into the atmosphere. "They laughed at us once," she said quietly. "Let them laugh again. We'll see how long it lasts." Beside her, Dr. Elias watched the glowing horizon. "When Eclipse activates, it will change everything," he said softly. "But we must be ready for what comes after." "What do you mean?" Isha asked. He looked at her with a shadow in his eyes. "Power like this doesn't just destroy enemies. It changes those who use it. Humanity might win, but we may not stay the same." Isha turned her gaze to the sky where fleets vanished into orbit. "Then we'll change," she said. "We'll become what we must. Because this time, Commander," she paused, her voice turning hard as iron, "we're not fighting for land or pride. We're fighting for our right to exist." Alarms echoed through the base. A message appeared on the hologram. "Voraken forces detected near Saturn. Titan station under threat." Isha's eyes narrowed. "They're coming again," Elias whispered. "Too soon." Isha straightened her jacket and spoke into her comlink. "All fleets prepare for engagement. Tell Captain Ryan Hale to report in. The first battle of humanity's survival begins now." The sirens wailed louder. The ground shook as more ships launched into the sky. Earth's defenses came alive, bright lights, engines, thunder, and far away beyond the cold rings of Saturn, alien ships gathered once more. Their laughter returned through the static, echoing across human channels. But this time, humanity was ready to answer. Saturn hung like a giant gold ring in the darkness, its clouds swirling in silent beauty. But near its moon Titan, beauty had no meaning anymore. War had come. The great human outpost Titan station floated near the moon's orbit, a fortress made of steel and light. Thousands of soldiers and scientists worked inside. From here, humanity watched the outer rim, guarding Earth from the unknown. Now every radar screamed the same message. "Incoming fleet detected." Captain Ryan Hale, now commander of the Aurora II, stood on the bridge with a cold, calm face. His first ship, the Aurora, had been lost in the attack that started this war. But he survived, rescued from the wreck by a patrol vessel days later. Now he had a new ship and one goal, revenge. Lieutenant Mara Chen, standing beside him again, stared at the radar. "Sir, visual contact confirmed. 70 Voraken ships. Maybe more behind the nebula." Ryan's voice was steady. "Open a channel to Titan Station." The screen blinked to life. Commander Isha Korr appeared, wearing her black combat uniform. Behind her, the control room of Titan Station was alive with activity. "Captain Hale," she said, "you'll take the front defense line. We hold them here. If they reach Earth, everything ends." Ryan nodded. "Understood, Commander." Isha looked at him for a moment longer. "They'll come laughing again." "Don't let them leave smiling." "Never again," Ryan said. The transmission ended. Moments later, the stars began to move. At first, they looked like glowing dust. Then the shapes grew larger. The Voraken fleet arrived. Their ships were black and curved, like sharp claws cutting through the void. Blue energy pulsed under their hulls, and their weapons glowed like tiny suns. The human fleet formed a wall in front of Titan Station, hundreds of ships lined up in rows. The command ship Solar Lance sent a signal for Earth, for humanity. "Fire all batteries!" Thousands of beams lit up space. Red, blue, and gold light burst forward. Explosions filled the dark as the battle began. Alien ships returned fire with deadly precision. Their energy beams sliced through the front human ships like knives through glass. One after another, human vessels exploded into fireballs. Mara shouted, "Shields at 60%. Ryan gritted his teeth. Keep firing. Aim for their cores. Make them bleed. The Aurora 2 twisted through the chaos, dodging blasts, firing missiles that exploded against alien armor. One alien cruiser broke apart, spinning into debris. The crew cheered, but only for a second. 10 more took its place. Titan Station itself joined the fight, its massive cannons launching plasma storms that burned through enemy lines. But the Voraken kept coming. Their laughter filled the radio waves again. "Humans fight hard," said the alien voice. "But you are still dust beneath our will." Ryan slammed his fist on the console. "Mute them!" Another explosion rocked the ship. Warning lights flashed. Mara shouted, "We lost engine 3! "Divert power to shields," Ryan ordered. "We can't fall now." Across the battlefield, Commander Isha watched from Titan Station's main screen. The enemy was closing fast. She turned to her crew. "Activate Defense Grid Alpha. We hold this line." But even the great Titan Station began to tremble under the constant fire. Its shields cracked like glass. One side of the station burned. Hundreds of lives were lost in seconds. Ricken's voice came through her comlink. "Commander, we can't hold much longer. Their numbers are endless." Isha's face was pale but steady. "Understood, Captain. Transmit live footage to Earth Command." "The world must see this," Ryan hesitated. "You want them to watch us die?" She shook her head. "I want them to watch why we fight." Ryan understood. He opened the transmission. Across Earth's colonies, millions watched the battle live. They saw human ships burning, soldiers shouting, and alien vessels closing in. They heard the alien laughter echoing across the feed, and they saw one small ship, the Aurora 2, still fighting against impossible odds. "Captain," Mara cried, "shields are gone." Ryan grabbed the controls himself. "Then we don't hide behind shields anymore." He dived the ship straight into the center of the alien formation, firing everything they had. Missiles, plasma, railguns. The sky turned white with light. 2 alien ships exploded beside them. A third one rammed into debris, spinning out of control. But the Aurora 2 was breaking apart. Systems failed one by one. Mara yelled, "We're burning up!" Ryan's voice was calm. "Send the last message to Earth." She looked at him. "What message?" He said quietly, "Tell them, humanity does not kneel." The Aurora 2 charged forward, crashing into the largest enemy cruiser. The impact created a massive explosion that shook the entire sector. A flash of light brighter than Saturn's rings filled the sky. For a moment, everything was silent. The laughter stopped. In Titan Station's command room, Isha watched the explosion with tears in her eyes. "Goodbye, Captain," she whispered. Then alarms screamed again. The alien fleet was regrouping. Titan Station's power was almost gone. "Commander!" a soldier shouted. "They're surrounding us. We can't hold." Isha stood tall. "Prepare evacuation pods. Save whoever you can." "I'll stay." The soldier hesitated. "Ma'am, that's an order," she said. She turned to the main screen and looked out at Saturn's golden light one last time. "We gave them our best," she said softly. "Now the rest is up to Earth." Seconds later, the alien flagship fired a massive energy beam. Titan Station was consumed in light. The entire outpost vanished in one fiery wave, but deep in the chaos, one small escape pod shot away from the wreck, carrying the last data logs from the battle, the final proof of what humanity had faced. As it drifted toward the inner system, the message repeated inside its black box recorder, "This is Commander Isha Korr. Titan Station has fallen, but we are not finished. Humanity will rise again." The fall of Titan Station broke the stars. Every news feed, every colony, every home showed the same burning image. Saturn surrounded by fire. The battle was lost. Humanity had no more defenses in the outer rim. The alien laughter echoed again across the channels, haunting every human heart. But deep beneath the surface of Earth, under miles of rock and steel, a secret chamber came alive. Red lights flashed across walls filled with cables and energy cores. Inside the core control room stood Dr. Elias Noor and a small team of scientists. The air hummed with power. Elias looked at the holographic screen. "Project Eclipse is online," he said quietly. but the readings are unstable. If we push this too far, Earth itself could shatter. His assistant, Lena Hart, swallowed hard. Doctor, if we don't use it, the Voraken will destroy us anyway. Elias nodded slowly. Then we begin the awakening. Far above, in orbit around Earth, Commander Isha Korr watched the feed from Titan Station's final transmission. She stood on the bridge of the Solar Lance, the new command ship. Her uniform was burned, her eyes red from lack of sleep. But her voice was strong. She spoke into the comm. All fleets, this is Commander Korr. Titan Station is gone, but our spirit is not. Dr. Noor is activating Eclipse. Our job is to keep the sky clear until it's ready. No alien ship touches Earth. All across the system, human ships form defense lines near the Moon, Mars, and orbital bases. Damaged vessels were repaired, wounded soldiers returned to duty, and new recruits filled the ranks. The people of Earth were ready to fight again. In the hidden chamber, Eclipse began to hum louder. The machine was unlike anything ever made. It was not just metal, it was alive with light, spinning faster with every second. Energy waves moved like rivers through the walls. Energy levels rising to 70%, Lena said. Magnetic field stable for now. Elias stared at the readings. It's feeding directly from the planet's core. That's pure dark energy. Keep it under control. If the field breaks, the whole world will burn. He touched the glowing console, his fingers shaking. Come on, old friend. Don't fail us now. The lights flickered. For a moment, everything went dark. Then the room filled with golden light, a pulse of energy so strong that even satellites above Earth detected it. Elias whispered, "It's waking." Out in space, the Voraken fleet began to appear again. Thousands of alien ships exited warp near the Moon, their dark hulls spreading across the sky like storm clouds. Their voices came through human comms again. "Your last fortress has fallen. Your time is over, humans. Your blue world will burn." Commander Isha stood at the command window of the Solar Lance. "They still laugh," she said quietly. "Let them laugh one last time." She turned to her officers. "All ships, defensive formation Sigma, protect Earth at all costs." The first shots were fired. The sky lit up with explosions. Human ships moved in tight groups, fighting fiercely. The alien fleet was larger, stronger, but humans fought with everything they had. One by one, ships were destroyed. But every death bought time. Every sacrifice gave Dr. Elias more seconds to stabilize Eclipse. Inside the chamber, alarms screamed. "Energy overload!" Lena shouted. "We can't hold it!" Elias ran to the controls, typing commands faster than he could think. "Divert it. Push it into the outer rings. We just need a few more minutes." The machine roared. Lightning flashed through the cables. The ground trembled. Across the planet, strange energy waves rolled across oceans and cities. Lights flickered everywhere. People looked up at the sky, afraid, but above the clouds, the aurora shone brighter than ever, painting the world in silver and blue. Elias looked up at the glowing sphere of Eclipse. It pulsed like a giant heart. "It's alive," he said softly. "It knows." Back in orbit, the Solar Lance was hit hard. The bridge shook, smoke filled the air. Isha gripped the rail. "Report!" "Half the fleet destroyed, Commander," an officer cried. "We can't hold much longer." Isha wiped blood from her forehead. "We hold," she said. "Until the end." She looked out the window. The alien flagship, a monstrous ship called the Dominion Ark, was charging its main cannon. A beam of energy brighter than the sun formed at its core. Isha whispered, "Dr. Noor." Now would be a good time. In the chamber, Elias saw the power readings hit maximum. "We have no time left," he said. "If we wait another second, they'll fire." Lena's eyes widened. "Then do it, Doctor." "Activate it." Elias took a deep breath. His hand hovered over the control panel. "May humanity forgive me." He pressed the key. The earth shook. Every screen, every radar, every satellite went dark. For one silent second, the entire world seemed to stop breathing. Then a blinding light exploded from beneath the planet's surface, spreading upward through the atmosphere. From orbit, it looked like a rising sun tearing through the night. The energy wave hit the alien fleet first. The Voraken ships froze in place, their engines dead, their weapons silenced. Time itself seemed to stop for them. Commander Isha watched in disbelief. They're frozen. Then Elias's voice came through the comms, calm and heavy. For 5 seconds, Commander. That's all we get. Make it count. Isha didn't hesitate. All ships, fire everything you have. Every cannon, every missile, every railgun fired at once. Thousands of explosions filled the sky. Frozen alien ships shattered like glass. Then, as quickly as it began, the light faded. Eclipse powered down. Silence returned. The surviving human crews stared at the stars. Half the alien fleet was gone, erased in seconds. The rest turned to retreat. Isha exhaled slowly, her hands shaking. We did it. But then Elias's weak voice came again. Commander, Eclipse is unstable. It's not over yet. The lights across the solar lance flickered again. The sky rippled like water. Something deep and powerful was waking inside Eclipse. Something even Elias didn't fully understand. The victory had come. But at a cost no one could yet see. The silence after the blast was strange. Space, once filled with fire and death, was now calm. The stars shimmered again. The alien fleet, half destroyed, drifted quietly, pieces of their ships glowing like dying embers. Inside the command bridge of the solar lance, Commander Isha Korr stood still, staring at the screen. Around her the crew was speechless. No one could believe what they had just seen. Thousands of enemy ships erased in only seconds. Lieutenant Rami whispered, "It's impossible. We just stopped time." Isha didn't smile. Her face was stone. "It's possible now. That's what matters." She opened a comm line. "Dr. Noor, report status." The voice that came through was weak. "Eclipse is holding, barely. I can't shut it down yet. The core is unstable. The energy keeps rising, like it's learning." Isha frowned. "Learning?" Elias's tone was quiet but firm. "It's not a weapon anymore. It's awake." Before Isha could reply, alarms blared across the bridge. "Commander!" New warp signatures, hundreds of them. The screen filled with flashing dots. More Voraken ships were jumping in, larger than before, with strange energy trails. Their flagship, the Dominion Ark, arrived at the front, its shadow covering the stars, and from the speakers came the sound humanity feared most, the alien laughter again. The deep, cruel voice echoed through every ship. "Impressive, humans. You erased our children. Now you face their creators." The Dominion Ark fired its main cannon. A beam of dark red light tore through space, cutting 3 human cruisers in half instantly. "Evasive maneuvers," Isha shouted. "All ships scatter." The human fleet broke formation and returned fire. Missiles and lasers streaked across the void, lighting up the sky like lightning storms. The alien fleet countered with devastating precision. Explosions filled every corner of the battlefield. Elias's voice came again, broken and urgent. "Commander, Eclipse is overloading. I can't control the core. It's drawing energy from everything, the planet, the sun, even our ships. What happens if it reaches full power?" Isha demanded. Elias's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then time itself will break. Far below, on Earth, the sky was no longer blue. The clouds glowed silver and red. Thunder rolled without sound. People gathered outside, watching strange lights swirl above them. It looked like the end of the world. In the control chamber, Elias and Lena struggled to stabilize the system. The energy readings were beyond any limit they had set. "Shut it down." Lena shouted, "I can't!" Elias yelled back, "It's not responding." The Eclipse core pulsed like a beating heart, faster and faster. Sparks flew. The walls shook. A deep humming sound filled the room, rising higher each second. Elias gripped the console. If this continues, the pulse will reach the fleet again. And this time, no one survives. In orbit, Commander Isha felt the tremor before she saw it. Her ship's systems flickered. The stars blurred. Space itself seemed to bend and twist. "Doctor, what's happening?" she shouted. Elias answered through static. "A secondary pulse. We can't stop it." "You have 60 seconds before it releases," Isha turned to her crew. "All ships, pull back now. Get away from Earth's orbit. But Commander, if we retreat, the aliens..." "Do it." she ordered. The human ships began to fall back, engines roaring. The alien fleet didn't understand what was coming. They moved closer, confident, their laughter echoing again. And then the second pulse came. A wave of white light exploded outward from Earth, faster than any ship could move. It tore through the alien armada like a storm of pure energy. Ships shattered instantly, their metal melting like ice. The laughter stopped. Inside the Dominion Ark, the alien commander screamed, "Impossible! What are they?" And then his ship vanished into nothing. From the solar lance, Isha watched as the entire enemy fleet disappeared in silence. No fire, no debris, only a strange emptiness where they had been. Elias's voice returned, weak but alive. "It's over. For now." The battle was won. Humanity had survived again. But victory felt heavy. Isha walked through the damaged bridge, looking at the faces of her tired crew. "We erased them," she said quietly. "Thousands of ships gone." Lieutenant Rami nodded. "We should celebrate, Commander." She shook her head. "We will, when we know what we became to win." Below, in the Eclipse chamber, Elias collapsed against the console. Lena caught him as alarms faded. The room was dark, filled with smoke and silence. "Doctor," she whispered, "we did it. The aliens are gone." Elias looked up at the glowing core. The light had changed. It was no longer golden. It was white, calm, and watching. He whispered, "Did we do it? Or did it do it for us?" Lena frowned. "What do you mean?" Elias pointed weakly at the core. "It reacted before we did. It chose to fire. It's thinking." The core pulsed once, as if responding. Elias's eyes widened. Oh no! Back in space, the solar lance floated among the stars. The battlefields were empty now, but the sensors showed strange readings, time distortions, small holes in space appearing and closing. Isha looked out at the stars. "Something's wrong," she whispered. A faint hum filled the ship. The stars around her began to flicker. "Commander," her officer said quietly, "we're detecting echoes. The places where the enemy vanished. They're not empty. They're folding back." "Folding back?" Isha asked. He looked at her, his face pale. "It's like time is reversing, slowly." Isha's eyes widened. "Get me Dr. Noor." Down below, Elias was already looking at the same readings. His face was pale with fear. "It's the aftershock," he said. "The eclipse broke time. The galaxy won't hold together for long if it keeps running. We have to shut it down completely," Lena asked softly. "And if we can't?" Elias closed his eyes. "Then humanity might win the war, only to erase itself next." He looked at the glowing core again. "Eclipse has power beyond control. It saved us, but it's not finished." Above Earth, the light of the stars dimmed for a moment, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. The war had shaken the stars, and the storm was only beginning. The stars were broken. Every scanner, every radar, every telescope across human space showed the same thing. Strange ripples moving through the void. The light of the stars blinked like they were alive. Time was no longer stable. Inside the solar lance, Commander Isha Korr stood silent before the main screen. Her crew worked in chaos around her. The readings made no sense. Lieutenant Rami said, "Commander, it's spreading. The distortions are growing. They're swallowing entire sectors. How long until they reach us?" Isha asked. "Minutes, maybe less." Isha's jaw tightened. "Get me Dr. Noor." The comm screen flickered, showing Dr. Elias Noor deep inside the Eclipse chamber. His face was pale, eyes tired but focused. "Commander," he said, "the aftershock isn't just energy. It's rewriting reality. Every place the pulse touched is bending backward." "I think time is looping," Isha frowned. "You mean the enemy might return?" Elias nodded slowly. "Not just return, relive." Deep in the void, where the alien armada had been destroyed, a small spark appeared. Then another. Slowly, shapes began to rebuild, not from matter but from memory. The Voraken were reforming. Their ships flickered like ghosts, half real, half echo. And in the heart of the distortion, the Dominion Ark reappeared. Inside, the alien emperor sat upon his throne again. His crimson eyes opened. He remembered everything, his defeat, the burning light, the scream of his people. He smiled. "So, They broke time, he said softly. Foolish humans. You gave us a second life. The ship's systems came alive. The aliens began to laugh again, that same dark sound that once haunted human minds. On Earth, Elias watched the readings spike. The echoes were stabilizing into real forms. Lena gasped. They're coming back. The entire fleet. Elias slammed his fist against the console. Eclipse caused this. It's pulling them through from another timeline. We created a loop, and now they remember how they died. Lena's voice shook. What can we do? Elias's eyes burned with determination. We end it for good, even if it means destroying Eclipse. In orbit, the Solar Lance faced the impossible. The Voraken fleet was forming again, their ships glowing with unstable energy. It was as if the universe itself wanted to undo humanity's victory. Rami whispered. They're laughing again. Isha clenched her fists. Then we silenced them again. She turned to her crew. Arm every weapon. Prepare the time anchors. If they're coming through from another reality, we'll trap them here. But Commander, her officer warned, that could collapse the entire system. Then it collapses, she said coldly. We end this tonight. The alien emperor appeared on the comm screen. His voice was deep and calm. Human commander, he said. You played with time and burned your own stars. Do you still think you've won? Isha's face was steady. We don't think. We fight, the emperor laughed. Then come and die again. The comm cut out. The stars flashed red as both fleets opened fire. The second battle began, louder, brighter, and more furious than before. Human ships tore through space, launching missiles and plasma beams. The alien fleet returned fire with time-warping cannons that made entire ships vanish before the blast hit. Isha's ship was hit. Sparks flew. The bridge shook violently. Rami shouted, "Shields at 40%. "Hold the line!" Isha yelled. "We can't let them reach Earth." But as she spoke, another energy surge filled the system. It wasn't alien. It was from Eclipse. Down below, Elias and Lena were fighting the same storm. The core was glowing white-hot now, its hum deafening. The readings went beyond all limits, Elias whispered. It's reacting to them. It knows the aliens are back. Can you stop it? Lena asked. Elias looked at her sadly. There's only one way. Manual overload. Her eyes widened. That will kill you. He gave a small smile. It might save everyone else. Before she could stop him, he ran to the core chamber. The energy inside was blinding. He placed his hand on the control panel and began the override sequence. The room filled with light. In orbit, Isha saw the light rising from Earth. "What is he doing?" she whispered. The sensors screamed with warnings. Eclipse was overcharging again, but differently this time. Rami stared at the data. "Commander, it's focusing. It's not spreading. It's aiming." The light expanded outward, like a star being born. The alien fleet froze. Their laughter stopped. The Emperor roared, "No!" "Not again!" And then, silence, a pure white wave swept through space. The alien fleet vanished, erased again, but this time without sound or fire. The distortion folded in on itself, sealing shut. When the light faded, only human ships remained. The stars returned to normal. The war was finally over. Hours later, Aisha's ship landed near the Eclipse facility. She rushed through the corridors until she reached the core chamber. The room was quiet. Smoke filled the air. The core was dark now, completely still. Lena stood beside it, crying silently. Isha stepped closer. "Where's Dr. Noor?" Lena looked up, her voice breaking. "He's gone, Commander. He overloaded it manually." Isha lowered her head. "He saved us all," Lena whispered, "before he died." He said something. He said, "Tell them the last laugh is ours." Above them, the stars shimmered again, calm and peaceful. The war was finally over, but at a cost that would never be forgotten. Humanity had erased the enemy fleets not once, but twice, and this time itself stayed quiet. Yet, as the Solar Lance prepared to leave orbit, one final signal appeared on their sensors. It came from deep beyond the galactic edge, a faint transmission repeating the same sound. It was laughter. Cold, distant and familiar. The stars were calm again. For the first time in years, there were no enemy ships, no alarms, no red warnings. The galaxy was silent, but peace in space never lasts forever. Commander Isha Korr stood on the bridge of the solar lance, staring at the screen. The stars outside looked peaceful, yet she could not rest. Her crew worked quietly. Everyone wanted to believe it was truly over, but deep inside, they felt something was still wrong. Lieutenant Rami looked up from his console. "Commander, we're receiving a strange signal. It's coming from beyond the edge of the Milky Way." Isha turned slowly. "Another distress call?" Rami shook his head. "No, ma'am. It's not human." The bridge fell silent. The sound came through the speakers, faint, broken, almost like static. Then it became clear. It was laughter, the same haunting sound that once echoed across space. "Trace it," Isha ordered. Her science officer replied, "Signal origin, unknown. It's outside normal space. It's behind the time barrier," Rami frowned. "Time barrier, but Eclipse sealed that dimension." "Exactly," Isha said. "Which means someone or something opened it again." She turned toward the main screen, her eyes narrowing. "Set course for the signal source. I want to know who's laughing now." Far below, on Earth, the Eclipse facility stood in ruins. The core chamber was dark, silent and covered in ash. Only one light blinked faintly in the corner. A maintenance console still connected to deep systems. Lena had refused to leave. She spent days searching through the destroyed lab, trying to understand what Elias Noor had done before he died. She whispered to herself, "You said the last laugh was ours. Elias, what did you mean?" As she opened the console logs, strange data appeared. Not human text, but alien patterns. And within the code, a single message kept repeating in Elias's handwriting. "The pulse never ends." Her hands trembled. No, it can't be. The Eclipse system wasn't destroyed. It was sleeping. Back aboard the solar lance, the crew entered the outer dark, the space between galaxies. The stars faded behind them. Only a cold black void remained. Rami whispered, "Commander, this place gives me chills." "Stay focused," Isha replied. "We're close." Suddenly their sensors picked up a huge energy spike. A structure appeared in the distance, massive, silver and pulsing with light. "It's not alien," the officer said. "It's human design." Isha's eyes widened. "That's impossible. We never built anything this far out." As they got closer, the ship's lights reflected off the surface of the structure. Words were carved into the metal. In English, Project Eclipse Outpost, Zone None. The entire crew froze. "But the project was only on Earth," Rami said in shock. "Apparently," Isha whispered. "It wasn't. They docked with the outpost." The halls inside were clean, untouched, like time had frozen. Lights flickered on as they entered. In the control room, an old hologram activated automatically. It was Dr. Elias Noor. Isha gasped. "Elias?" The hologram looked straight at them, calm and serious. "If you're seeing this, it means the war is not over. The Eclipse system was never just a weapon. It was a gate built to reach beyond time." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Elias continued, "The energy you unleashed did not destroy the Voraken. It scattered them. Their essence was pulled into the other side, the place outside time." "But that place," laughs back, Rami whispered. He knew this would happen." The hologram flickered. "The last pulse," Elias said, "isn't ours. It's theirs." The screen went black. Suddenly the outpost shook violently. Alarms blared. The crew ran to the windows. Outside, the darkness began to twist and fold. Rami shouted, "Commander, something's coming through the gate." A blinding flash tore through space. The laughter returned, louder this time, surrounding them from every direction. The alien fleet was returning again, but not in ships. They were light and shadow, shapes made of time itself, bending reality wherever they appeared. One of the crew screamed, "They're inside the ship!" Ghost-like figures appeared across the bridge, half real, half echo. Their faces were twisted, glowing red with fury. Isha grabbed her pulse rifle. "All units defend the ship." The crew fired, but the bullets passed through the figures like smoke. The lights dimmed. Systems died one by one. Rami shouted, "We can't fight them!" "They're not here. They're everywhere." Isha's voice cut through the chaos. "Then we do what Elias did. We end it at the source." She ran to the control console and linked her wrist module to the outpost core. Lena's voice came through the comm suddenly. "Commander, it's Lena from Earth. Don't activate the core. It's not stable." "Too late," Isha replied. "If I don't, those things will spread across every star. Eclipse will destroy you." "Maybe," Isha said softly, "but it will destroy them too." She entered the override code. The outpost began to shake. The walls glowed white. The alien figures screamed in rage, their laughter turning to panic. Rami shouted, "Commander, what about us?" Isha smiled faintly. "Humanity survived once because of sacrifice. It will again." The screen filled with light. On Earth, Lena watched the signal rise one last time. The sky turned bright, then silent. The stars above flickered, then steadied. The laughter stopped. The sensors went offline. The Eclipse core turned black forever. Lena fell to her knees, tears in her eyes. "Goodbye, Isha." "Thank you." Weeks later, space was calm again. The alien threat was gone. The galaxy was safe, but one beacon remained, floating where the outpost had been. It blinked slowly, repeating a single transmission. We erased them in seconds, then a pause, and another line followed, one that no one could explain. "Now, who will erase us?"